Hello, crafty friends. I'm so glad you're here. I'm sorry I've been away for a while, but I'm glad to be back. I have a beautiful Christmas card for you today. Spellbinders has released some new products for Christmas, July 14th, so they're available over there on their website right now. And I'm going to be using about 3 or 4 of the products from this line today. So this first one is a Glimmer Plate that you can use with your hot foil machine and the hot foil foil from Spellbinders. I'm not going to be using the greeting that comes in this product. I'm only going to be using that card front. Here's a look at some of the foil you can get over there, but I'm going to be using lots of different colors. The one for today I'm using is going to be gold on a red background, which you saw in the card a moment ago. And this is a beautiful ornament that you can create that's a Glimmer hot foil plate, and it comes with coordinating dies. Now I'm not going to create an ornament today. I'm only going to be using the floral portion, and I'll hand trim that out with some scissors. But you can see here that it creates just a really beautiful little ornament that you can use to create some lovely Christmas cards, and it comes with the coordinating dies to cut it all out. So that's really nice. So those are the first 2 products that I'm going to be using. And then I'm going to create a diamond frame for my card, and in order to do that I'm using the Essential Diamonds Etched Dies, and it's basically a layering. You can layer them to create the frame, or you can use them individually by themselves to cut out a solid diamond. So there's several sizes that come in this product, the Essential Diamonds Etched Dies. Now I'm going to be using different colored paper today, and I want to trim it large enough to fit that first product, the crossed lines card front hot plate. So I'm taking all of these colors of cardstock and I'm cutting them down to 6 by 5 so you can see that it fits on my hot plate perfectly, and then I can trim it down later. So now here are all the beautiful colors of foil that you can get. I went ahead and purchased these a while ago because I love doing the foiling with my cards, and you can see here I'm going to be doing some tone on tone with such as the green on green and purple on purple. I think I forgot to cut out a pink one, so I'll have to go back and do that. But there's all kinds of gorgeous foils you can get from Spellbinders. So first I'm going to take my red paper, put my gold foil down, shiny side up, and put my hot plate on it and tape it to hold it in place. And then I'll put that hot plate onto the Glimmer hot foil system so that metal portion is touching the hot plate, so it'll get hot. Now there's a timer on the machine. I neglected to click it. If you click it, it'll blink, and then when it becomes solid, you know that it's ready to go through your die cutting machine. I neglected to do that. I think I was just rushing, but it turned out fine anyway. And then you want to roll it through your die cutting machine slowly, because the foil transfers with heat and pressure, so you want to make sure you go through slowly so you get a good result. Not too slowly, but not too fast. And then you'll see here I get a gorgeous result. Now, I've heard a lot of people say they have trouble foiling on colored cardstock. I'm not sure why. This is the Astro Brights colored cardstock, and I have great results with it. I think sometimes when you foil on colored cardstock, if you get over foiling and then you try to erase it with a sand eraser, sometimes it eats away at the colored cardstock and it leaves a blemish. So maybe that's why. But anyway, I'm just trimming this card front panel down to size to fit an A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And since it's a symmetrical design, I'm cutting a portion off of the right and then off of the left that are equal. So if I want to cut a half of a portion off, I would cut a 1/4 on one side and a 1/4 on the other. But I'm also being careful with the design because I want the design to be the same on both sides. So I did kind of just eyeball it a little bit. Okay, so now I didn't show you the foiling of this beautiful ornament, but it's the same process that you saw with the first product. And I'm going to be using my alcohol markers. These are the Spectrum Noir. These are the old markers. I've had these for a long time. So I'm just being careful not to come into contact with the gold foiled lines. And I'm just, again, these are the alcohol markers. And I think you get a beautiful result when you color in your foiled images. So I love doing this. It's just so pretty. Okay, so this one is the DR3 that I'm using for those little berries there. And also for that little bud. And I use the DR3 also for the big flower. Now later on in the video you'll see I come back with like a tan color to do some shading. So that's later on in the video. Now for the leaves, I'm using two different colors of green, one for the round leaves and a different one for the pointy leaves. So for the round leaves, this is JG3. And some of you may have these old Spectrum Noir markers, but just use whatever markers you have on hand to color these with. If you're going to use a watercolor or a medium that's water-based and not alcohol, definitely make sure you foil on some watercolor paper, because that way you'll get better results. And I did foil on some watercolor paper, and my results were fine with the foiling. So I don't know, you may get different results depending on the watercolor paper you use, but I tried to use the back side that was smooth. Okay, so now I'm ready to assemble my card after I've got it all colored, and I'm just going to put the card panel on my A2 sized card base, and it is Nina Solar White, 110 pound. I like to use the heavyweight card stock for my card bases. And then I'm using some scrapbook.com foam adhesive to pop up this frame. Now I didn't show you the cutting of this frame, but I did use those dies that I told you about earlier, the Essential Diamonds etched dies from Spellbinders. And I also used a product that I've had for a long time. It's some gold mirror, or not gold mirrored, it's the green mirrored cardstock from Tonic Studios. You can see it's green and how pretty and shiny it is there. I've had it for quite a while, so if it's still available, I'll link it down below. Or I know that a lot of different companies do the mirrored cardstock, so just look for a green mirrored cardstock if I can't find it, and link it down below for you. Now I'm just going to leave a space between for that frame when I put my flowers on there. And now you're going to also have a problem with your words. You're going to have to pop them up by using, since the words are really small, I just went ahead and cut them out of cardstock. And you can see here, this is the word dies that I use. It comes from the Create a Christmas Sentiment die set from Spellbinders. This was released last year in 2021. Okay, so I've cut out several of these words, and I think I cut out 4, but I ended up cutting out 4 more. So I actually use 8 layers. I know that's a lot, but that's how thick that foam was. So I just glue these together here with some Tombow mono adhesive. And once they're all together, I do actually end up cutting the word apart, because I need to take the letter E off, because it's going to be the letter that straddles the frame. So since that's the letter that's going to go over the frame, I'm not going to need to have several layers of the letter E. So I will cut that off, and you'll see that in a moment. And again, I'm only showing you 4 layers, but I actually did 8 layers just so you know, so you're aware. But you guys, you don't have to pop up that frame if you don't want to. If this is too much trouble for you, then by all means just put it flat on the card front, and then you just put the word over it, and it's not a problem. The green mirrored cardstock does have a little bit of bulk to it, so you might need to do 1 or 2 layers. But it's not really necessary if you're not going to put the foam tape on it. So you can see here I cut off the E, and I'm just working with the RRY, and I'm going to glue the gold cardstock down to that. And this is the Spellbinders gold mirrored cardstock. Just putting a clean piece of paper down so I don't get the glue on top of that gold foil. Or I mean, it's not foil, it's gold mirrored cardstock. You can see there that the letter E doesn't have any extra layers. And I'm just using my finger to dab on the glue onto the back of this so that I can put it on my card front. Now when I do put it on here, you'll notice that the top portion of the letter M, the second little point, kind of gets in the way. So I do end up cutting off a little bit of that top portion of the letter M. So you can see there it's getting in the way. So I did that off camera. I didn't show that, but I did the same thing with the word Christmas as well. I had to cut off the T and the M, and then the only letters that have the layering is the CHRIS and then the AS. So I did that with both of those words. And then I'm coming back to color. So I took that TN6, it's like a tan color. The darkest red just was too dark. So I decided to come in with that tan color. See this TN6 here, and just add some shading there on my flower to give it a little more dimension and interest. And then I'm blending it with the DR3. I tried blending it with the DR1, but that was too light, so I blended it with the DR3. I'm not a colorist, guys. I just love to play around with these images. So I hope you had fun today. Don't forget to head on over to Spellbinders to check out their new Glimmer Greetings collection that was just released, and I hope to see you back soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.